I don't see how we don't break 200,000 on this move over the next, say, 6 to 12 months. Every time this green star candle has shown up, Bitcoin has always done 100% move or greater. Just from a TA perspective, no matter what time frame I use, whether it's the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, the monthly time frame, everything is bullish right now. We are in that perfect part of the cycle, the 4-year cycle. I know there's a debate. Is there a 4-year cycle? Is there not a 4-year cycle? I'm still on that 4-year cycle train. I don't see why it would go away. And to me, a 4-year cycle means that in a 4-year pyramid between the halvings, we get a bull market and a bear market. And we are so far lagging all prior bull markets at this point in time. So from a cycle perspective, we are way lagging behind, and I think we're just starting to pick up steam. I'm very disappointed with the current administration and everything that they have done since getting elected. Still probably the better choice over the other option, but it is still good for Bitcoin, even though obviously the U.S. federal government is not buying Bitcoin. They had that shitcoin event over at the Capitol. That was hilarious. And so that's still pretty bullish. The possibility that he's going to significantly lower taxes, he probably won't, but there is a chance he's going to lower taxes, because if he's going to rack up tariffs, the only way to counterbalance that is to drop investment taxes like capital gains. Like imagine if capital gains drops from 20% to 5%. That would be absolutely incredible. And as a technical analyst, as a trader for 25 years now, I got to go back to the chart. This is as bullish as it gets from a charting perspective. We are about to break the prior swing high. I have my own indicators of green star candles. If I go to a 2-month chart, and this was actually written in Bitcoin Magazine, and this is a 2-month chart. One of my someone that I do charting analysis with pointed it out. So you see the blue circles. It's not often that a 2-month chart has this green star candle, which is part of my indicator. And every time this green star candle has shown up, Bitcoin has always done 100% move or greater. And we had the green star candle on a 2-month chart, and this was back in the September candle. And you can either take the moment the green star showed up. The green star shows up when the current candle breaks the prior candle's high, which means it showed up at 65,000. So from 65,000, we are close to that 100% move or greater. But even if you entered at the very end of the candle, now you're entering at 70,000. So that means it's a move to 140. And we're continuing to be on the way. I became super, super bullish at that level. The green star candle also came on this breakout. One of my favorite trades is the breakout trade. When we have a consolidation, the only time in Bitcoin's history where this trade failed was in October, November of 2021. That is the only time. The best time to buy Bitcoin is when it breaks the all-time high after several months of not breaking it. Mm-hmm. And we just had that again. We're on the verge of breaking that again.
Bitcoin Well is the best place to be buying and selling Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And now with Bitcoin Well Infinite, it's also the best place to be making large buys at their OTC desk of over $50,000. Their white glove service gives you fast transactions, no slippage, and the lowest fees. You can scan the QR code on the screen or simply head to bitcoinwell.com/BTC Sessions to sign up today. And you can share your own personalized referral link to earn commissions.
where right now we're breaking that all-time high, or about to. We're only $5,000 away from breaking the all-time high after several months of a pullback. And this is as bullish of a situation as it gets. It's one of the safest trades you can make. And just from a TA perspective, no matter what time frame I use, whether it's the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, the monthly time frame, everything is bullish right now. I still think the real bullishness won't start until late summer, fall. I could be wrong. We could be all the way at 120 next week. I still think we're going to pull back. I still think we're going to get stuck between 95 and 105 for most of the summer, and then break above that 105 level and go all the way to 125, maybe even 150. And if I look at the longer term picture with the cycle chart, and this is what I mean about the cycle, this is that time where we have the final push into a top, and you can see all prior cycles. The red one is the original, the first 4 years. So right here, this is September of 2011, when we reached like $30 or something. Yeah, $30. And the blue is the second cycle. So the blue is 2012 to 2016. The green is 2016 to 2020. And the purple is the last 4 years, 2020 to 2024. So we are in the zone of where we make a top. So the top has historically come in between March, so 2 months ago, up through October. I think we're going to last a little bit past October. And I mean, I don't see how we don't break 200,000 on this move over the next, say, 6 to 12 months. So just based on cycles alone, this is the time for us to rise. So I'm really bullish from a technical reason and a general cycle. I wouldn't call it fundamental, but yeah, just everything is going for it, including the current administration is very pro Bitcoin, and we got 3 more years of that. From a TA perspective, I'm loving it right now.
I've got a question for you. So the one time that it failed at the end of 2021, would you attribute that to the fact that, well, to a couple of factors? One was the China mining ban, and two would have been FTX pretending to buy Bitcoin when there was indeed demand?
Maybe. So the Chinese mining ban prevented us from having a proper top earlier. So we topped in April of 21 at about 65,000. And then the China mining ban dropped us 50% into the $30,000 range. And then going into November of 2021, we broke that high of 65,000 and went to 69. Markets don't top like that. And usually when you fall 50% and you make it back to the top 6 months later, and you break that top, you keep going. My worst case scenario at that point was 85. And even that was very, very conservative. I don't have a good explanation. It really was a bit of an anomaly. It could have been the fake buying at FTX, that at that point they couldn't fake buy anymore. Look, we can blame FTX, we can blame Celsius, we can blame all kinds of stuff. But from a charting perspective, I mean, all that doesn't matter. I mean, it's just making excuses. I don't make excuses. I will admit I was super bullish in November of 2021, and we topped in a way from a technical analysis perspective. Based on everyone has their own technical analysis view. I'm sure there's a trader out there that called that top perfectly. I did not. From my view, I was as bullish as it gets, and I'll be right 9 out of 10 times, and that was the one time I was wrong.
There's an accusation tone in the chat and it says Tone says don't put everything in Bitcoin, then says it's going to double by year end. Tone wants to buy all of the Bitcoin. So I think it might be on the money there, but nonetheless, BJ, I want to.
What's that? But what we just described, right? Like I thought we were gonna double in November of 2021, and we topped at that moment, right? So that's the reason you don't put everything into Bitcoin, no matter how confident you are that it's gonna double. The one time you put everything in and you leverage, that's the one time it's wrong, right? It only takes one bad investment decision to ruin you, no matter how many good investment decisions you've made in your life.
Tone started off saying he's disappointed in where we're at with the current administration. You know, I still fail to see how there could be a more bullish setup over the last 6 months. And I think it's in spite of all the fumblings from an administration. We're at the point where we're just seeing the inevitability play out. And it's when you start getting a lot of people mad about sovereigns adopting, or Michael Saylor's buying too much, or, but what you're seeing today is, I think, one of the biggest examples. Coinbase just added 2,000 Bitcoin to their balance sheet. And they recently had a conversation with Brian Armstrong. He was saying, over the last 12 years, multiple times we said, should we put 80% of our treasury into Bitcoin? In the company that was at the center of Bitcoin adoption was able to see the data, never did it. They never did it over those last 12 years. If they had, they could very well have completely outpaced Michael Saylor, and we may not have ever heard of someone like Michael Saylor making that play. And so I just love seeing the world capitulate. It does mean that you will have enemies of your enemies also using Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, what are we seeing at Fold? Dramatically new openness to partnerships, to collaborations with the world outside of Bitcoin. So traditional financial companies, retail partners, but we're also seeing a lot of new retail entrants into the space. Now, it hasn't kind of gotten that blow off the top moment that we got in the 2021 or the previous 2017 cycle, but we are seeing the rumblings there. And so I think the spring is absolutely loaded. And again, the Tone's charting just gets me bullish every time. I'm looking forward to a good summer.
Real quick, and I know I'm getting a bunch of crap in the live chat about me being very upset at the Trump administration. Like I said, the main reason to vote for Trump was Bitcoin price go up, and Bitcoin price is up, even though we did have a little bit of a dip. We do have the most Bitcoin-friendly bullish administration, but I am not happy with the Trump administration for everything else that it's doing. And this is not a political show. My personal channel has gone political. And considering I lost so much of my audience by being very, pro-Trump and very anti-everything else, and now I'm going to start doing videos that are anti-Trump, so I'm going to lose the other 50% of my audience very soon. I am just very, very upset on everything else that he's doing, but I'll stay there for another show. And the other thing I want to mention on Coinbase and Brian Armstrong. So the way I describe Brian Armstrong is, imagine Jeff Bezos, but a Jeff Bezos in an ultimate reality that hates online shopping with a passion and wishes it never existed, right? Like, that's how I describe Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong hates Bitcoin to such a passion, he wishes it never existed. It's actually sad that Brian Armstrong is running a company like Coinbase. So the fact that they have never held Bitcoin in their strategic reserve doesn't surprise me one bit. I mean, you are talking about a person that was pro Bitcoin Cash, that was pro SegWit 2x. He's done everything in his power to try and eliminate Bitcoin, to have shitcoins rule the world. And yet, the only reason why his company is so popular is because of Bitcoin. And maybe he finally gets it, maybe, but it did take 10 years.
Bitcoin Well is the best place to be buying and selling Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And now with Bitcoin Well Infinite, it's also the best place to be making large buys at their OTC desk of over $50,000. Their white glove service gives you fast transactions, no slippage, and the lowest fees. You can scan the QR code on the screen or simply head to bitcoinwell.com/BTC Sessions to sign up today. And you can share your own personalized referral link to earn commissions.